Good morning, everyone. EagleX from ATX EagleX Gaming here today, and I have our newsletter for January 16th, 2023. In this newsletter, I want to cover more goodies that we have in BT11 being revealed, lots of exciting stuff, along with some stuff in TP8. But before I get started, I just want to thank you guys so much. Last week I asked to help to get to 750 subs, and you guys smashed me past that threshold. So now I'm aiming for 800 subscribers for channel growth. If you guys do appreciate and like my content, I appreciate if you can like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe to let me know I'm going in the right direction. As I see support for these types of videos, it lets me know I'm going in the right direction for what you guys want to see. Additionally, if you guys haven't joined my Discord yet, you can find it in the description down below. If you want to join me for my weekly tournaments, or just join my community in general, you can find it there. Just don't forget to agree to the rules before you have access to the full server. And with that being said, let's get started with the news. So, I just want to make sure I make this clear. If you guys are trying to pay attention to Nationals and the latest news, make sure you're following the core TCG Facebook or Discord page, one of the two. And then you're following the Digimon card game Facebook group as well, where you will find the latest information on Nationals. And did you guys know that there's an official Bandai Judge server? This is something released right over the holiday break. I will have the link for the Discord server in the description below, but you can apply to the Judge program for any of the games that Bandai has released at the moment, Dragon Ball Super, One Piece, and Digimon in particular. But instructions on how to get involved in the application process is included here. And then there is future plans of adding floor judges or store judges through the Bandai TCG Plus app in the future. But just stay tuned for that information. But in case you guys didn't know, go ahead and join the server in the description down below. Next, I do always want to cover premium Bandai products because people miss these more often than not. And we have our Digivice scanners with the Altart Takuya or Altart Taku or Koji being the other one. Really cool Altarts. They are up for pre-order still, and the pre-orders close on March 1st. So you have a little bit of time still if you want to decide if you want to get the Digivice with one Altart card. I believe it is per pre-order. But some more of the interesting stuff. If you guys haven't seen, Tournament Pack 8 has been announced. And we have some really cool cards being reprinted, alt-arted, that haven't had an alt-art before or reprinted in a while. Tapirmon for purple, on deletion draw one. Super solid staple in purple decks, especially in the early days. But I think the high dollar card here we have is the Jamming Vmon, as this card hit like $20 at one point. Now that we have more ease access to it as a reprint, I expect to see prices go down for the regular one. But most importantly, having more people with access to this card. Not to mention the art is cute, with him stepping on a little Chumon and punching a Sukaimon. Or Numemon, not Sukaimon. Yeah, and then we have reprints of the Modimon, Pikmons that's used in Cross, Patamon, and Agumon. I believe those are mostly starter deck cards if they're not just old cards. And then the winter pack here, we have the Upamon for blue, the Jamming Vmon again, the Blocker Greymon used in Black War X. I expect that to probably be the chase card for people, as people want to bling out their stuff for Nats. And then Pikmons for Cross again, but with that foil background. But with these things in mind, I kind of want to discuss, like, what are these other second year anniversary winter cards going to be? So far, we've had BT1 Seraphimon, Rust Tyrannomon, Metal Tyrannomon, and Gazimon. The reason I bring this up is because this is going to be included in our BT11 set as campaign rares, if I recall correctly. And the three stipulations they had, basically, the time of the poll, was the card cannot have an alt-art yet. Pre-release doesn't count for an alt-art of a card. Just to be mindful of that. It has to be an SR or below in rarity. And it has to be printed in BT7 or earlier, if I recall correctly. I tried finding the original post on it. I struggled finding it, but I'm pretty sure it was BT7 was the time we had it released. So that was hybrid format with some X-antibody stuff. So like Alphamon just came out with the Dorugamon line. But the reason I'm bringing this up again is because if we have a reprint alt art like we do here, I don't expect to see it coming up in these 2-year anniversary winners, I could be mistaken. I wouldn't be surprised, but those are ones I have the least likelihood thoughts it would include. We have the Digimon, which is a great inclusion, as this card, honestly, all the floodgates should be very accessible. But a max rarity of them too would also help out the market, as people that go for max rarity will dump their min rarity ones after. But I'm hoping to see more cards in this direction that are playable, that people universally love. Digimon, honestly, any of the other floodgates I would think would be appropriate. Or fan favorite decks that just haven't had any dedication to them earlier, or in a while at least. But that's all I have to say about the 2-year anniversary winner cards so far. Really cool cards. I love the arts. They are fantastic. Also, last week's giveaway results. I asked the question, do we need a massive ban list or rotation to keep the game feeling fresh? I left Cool Boy as the poster card because this card has lots of complaints from people. It's really easy to accumulate value, especially if you play tested BT11. He does a whole lot. And because you guys were so good to me last week, I want to go ahead and draw 3 winners for last week's results. So I have the winners going to be selected here. Our first winner is going to be Geiki Kudo. So if Bandai wants to keep this Nats fun, Cool Boy needs to go to 1 or less. It's way too oppressive to give decks that runs off free draw power and more draw power on top of memory gain and search. It's way too much for 2 memory. And honestly, I think that summarizes Cool Boy's problem really well. He's a long game value tamer. Black War X is a deck that really utilizes him for the late game potential, but Garurumon utilizes him for the early game potential because they need the 1 memory and the 1 draw to help them get up to the 8 cards in hand. So honestly, in both decks, if the game goes really long, Cool Boy accumulates a lot of value, or in Garuru, it gets them to important memory and hand thresholds real quickly. So you will be messaged with follow-ups for your winning. Now our next winner, our second winner, is Gucci Bray. It's really annoying comparing what's going on in Digimon compared to Yu-Gi-Oh! Our formats are still diverse besides Melga, Grandis, and all of that, but other things can still win. A banner restriction will happen probably after Nats go, and lots of support for me as well. Thank you so much. And yeah, I definitely do feel like a restriction or ban list will happen after Nats, just because if we don't, we'll probably see a very overwhelming pie chart shared, like we did for Blue Hybrid and EX2. It took over half the pie chart. So, with how the current game is, we know there's going to be some very oppressive decks and overrepresented decks. Now for our third winner, it is going to be C4 Story. Rotation or consideration when it comes to card and meta design framework, in your opinion, would be great. And I agree. Like, if we take a look at the game as a whole, you can see there's going to be some abuse mechanics or problematic mechanics. But I will reach out to all you guys on YouTube, and I will have you guys follow up with me on Discord, where I can get details followed up for your winnings. But thank you so much for participating in last week's poll. But don't worry if you guys didn't win last week. I do have another one for this week. The viewer question I have for this week. Comment with your response below for a chance to win some more booster packs. I have a lot more to give away. I have packs from 1.0 all the way up to BT, or technically EX3. I think the only set I'm missing is BT5. Those have all been claimed in previous giveaways. But how would the Digimon TCG benefit from adding mulligans and side decks as a permanent addition to the rules in the next competitive year? So if you guys don't know, DigiFest was a one-off tournament that had both mulligans and side decks implemented. We saw Blue Hybrid did really well, as they had basically cards in their side deck for the mirror match and for some other matchups they would struggle with. I remember Purple Mimi was a common side deck inclusion because it didn't help in every matchup, but in the mirror match, if you can deny Hammer Spark, it was really big. Mulligans have been a lot more common, as we've had that as a modified format rule in online cups. But let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think about mulligans and side decks? Do we want them as a permanent thing in Digimon? And finally, to wrap things up, if you're in the ATX area, we have a bunch of locals. We have tonight at Pixel Haven, 6:30 p.m. Wonka's tomorrow at Tuesday at 7 p.m. Dragon Lair as our big gathering Friday at 6:30. Juniors at Saturday, and Game Castle also at Saturday. That being said, thank you so much for watching, guys. Take care and have a nice one.